Monday, November 22nd, 2021. On my way home, today's the Thanksgiving Day feast where they're serving turkey and different traditional. They ordered from a catering hall. They're serving the children today. They had to bring in $8 and they're gonna enjoy together. A national, I guess it's national, I don't know. It's a country because it's Thanksgiving, so I think it's just this country. I really don't know. Again, more stuff that they don't explain here in any form. So I walked past. It's not the day on the calendar, but it's on the school calendar for the children, for Anthony in public school. So I walked past NYPD. On my way back, I stopped to ask the gentleman who reminds me of Tony Mason from the Television. He's a reporter. I don't know if he's an investigative reporter. I'm not sure. So I said to him, I was like, now let me ask you a question. I said, I lived here in 1999. I was like, over right across the street on that side. I was like, and I was living in a basement apartment, or like not a basement, but I was living on the first floor. I was like, and I wound up getting pregnant. I was like, and one morning I woke up and from a sound sleep, I was like, and the sides of my stomach were cut, like were burning, and I didn't know what it was. I put my fingers down and it felt like slice marks. So I was like, I came up and I went to look in the mirror because I couldn't see it from where I was. I was like, and it looks like, I was like, I look like I got cut. I was like, I didn't know what it was. I was like, but I didn't think much of it. My mom said to go to the obstetrician, not the police, so I did. I was like, they made a note of it. I told a couple people at work. I was like, but I didn't really think going to the police was necessary. I mean, like, the doctor said that he would make a note for me on my file, the obstetrician. I didn't really think much of it. They made it seem like it was a normal event, like stretch marks or whatever. And then, whatever, had the baby, like nothing thought of it. Then 2 years later, I was like, the man that I got pregnant first, then married. I was like, the man that I got married with afterwards. I was like, he goes out. He's about to graduate from NYPD Academy. He goes out. He falls. I get a call that he's in the hospital. I go to the hospital. I was sound asleep. It was the middle of the night. I was like, and they said that he was on a bar stool. He drank so much, he fell off and cracked his head, and his head split open. Didn't think much of it, but when it healed, it looked like the Harry Potter scar from the movie. I was like, and then whatever. I was like, but none of these things, I mean, they're significant, but like, they're not significant within their own self unless a whole big picture is drawn. And just going through it, there's nobody to ask these things. So I said to the police officer, I was like, so my thing is, I didn't really think of my own scars when his scar happened. I was like, but now, like sometimes, like if you watch things like SVU, they paint like the world very differently than I live in. And I know it happens, like sometimes there's different things going on, people moving in and out of the area, and there's I was like, I asked a Navy representative that lives upstairs. I said, he just moved in. I was like, that my dad rents to. He said, like, as if it was no big deal, like it's hazing, or that Jason joined a brotherhood of some sort. No idea what that means. I was like, so my thing is like, that's what, like, somebody else knows these things? Is it like a spiritual thing? But like, is it somebody else's spiritual thing? Because it's not my spiritual thing. I was like, and I mean, how do you protect yourself from other people's spiritual things and rituals? And like, I mean, you're clearly like part of something, but you don't know what. I was like, and where it's really damaging for me now is the fact that I can't get work, I can't keep a house, I can't like take care of myself, and now I'm like getting more and more sick. I was like, so this is where it gets really confusing for me, like where to look for help. And so he was like, yeah, I don't know. And I was like, and he's like, I was like, is there SVU actually exactly like a real thing inside NYPD, or is that just TV producer land? Like they just made that up on TV just to theatrically whatever. And he's like, no, it's a real thing. And he's like, well, didn't you say that he's no longer with the police force? And I was like, no, he's still with NYPD. He moved over. Well, when they're detectives, do they stay within? He goes, oh, yeah, no, they stay within NYPD as detectives. I was like, all right, so they're still with NYPD. I was like, I'm just not with him, and we don't have, like, a relationship. So he was just like, oh, yeah, he's like, well, again, he's like, I don't know. And I'm like, right, okay. I mean, like, this is the problem. And then, I mean, my son's in public school, same public school that I was at. There's, there's no, like, Miguel was saying yesterday, he says, I'm not from this country. He's the guy from the Navy. He said he made entry through Michigan, Chicago, he said. But he said, for me, he says, you were born here. He's like, you are first in line for people to pay attention and listen to you. He says, I know that I came here. He says, and I'm after you. And he's like, and that you have to be listened to first. And I was like, oh, I was like, but where? I was like, how do I, like, who do I ask? Where do I go? He goes, oh, that I don't know. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. And so then he says in where he was from, they taught French law and Spaniard, I guess Spaniard law or whatever law went over in whatever they're teaching in Latin America or South America. And I was like, well, that's interesting. You got two forms of law. I was like, in here, I was like, I didn't even get one set of laws. So I don't really understand how, like, how does one protect themselves walking around when my father went to the same public school in New York? New York did not set a standard or even a foundation of what the New York state laws were. So now you have like all these level of laws. You have state laws, you have county laws, you have city laws, you have ordinances, you have variances, you have admiral law, you have now I hear French law, Spaniard law, the English law. I mean, like, but how does one, when there's no foundational law set for the people, and then there's corporate law, how do you keep yourself healthy and safe when you have no baseline of law other than the laws of nature, the laws of physics? I didn't even get taught that. I just got taught, like, be a good person, don't argue with people, stay as quiet as possible, and just whatever. If somebody pushes you, walk away. Okay? Great, that did me absolutely no good. Because now I'm here at age 43. I'm beaten the crap out of in some. Here's the other thing. Who owns the utility monopoly? And who owns the land? And is there an easement and an ownership problem with this unconditioned electric? When I first started getting sick, I mean, I've been going through this anemia and the tiredness, and like I can't even like get through a whole day. It's so painful. It's I become listless. But and then there's times where I have bursts of energy and I'm able to actually get stuff done. But that's been rare. Mostly it's been anemic and really not feeling very well. So now this, if the body's like an antenna of a fleshy antenna of some sort, and there's a natural field of energy going through, if a positive or a negative blood type, a phenotype, archistructure, is pulling in a different radiological signature, how do I protect myself? Being that I don't have a stake or partnership, or I don't know how or who to speak to at the utilities. Is it Verizon? Is it Con Edison? Is it energy? Is it fiber optics? I was in Patchogue, and 1 month I had Optimum. That's who I was paying for the TV, phone, and whatever. And next month the bill came, and it was something called Spectrum. They were like, "Oh yeah, no, we had a corporate takeover. Like, this is our new whatever." I'm like, and it's just, you just have to deal with it. It's like, how does a consumer protect themselves? Because on Optimum, I had a really nice guy who called me who was going over like network security and safety. And then, like a month later, all of a sudden, I get transferred to Spectrum. And now all of a sudden, I don't know anybody and I can't get the Optimum guy back. I'm like, am I still secure? Obviously not. Um, so this is just, I mean, I'm stuck in this area. I don't know what groups are safe. I don't know what they've invested in. I don't know who's leading them. I don't know who would possibly be hurting me. I don't know what, like, products to use or not use. But I mean, it's like I'm just left here. There's no, I'm like, okay, so now, according to Miguel, I'm part of some brotherhood. I've got the scrapes on the bottom, like razor blade scrapes. What brotherhood? Are there representatives to this brotherhood? Then I even told the NYPD guy, I was like, and then I got an added problem. I was like, I was living somewhere, I had a house, I had my kids, and then it was like a desperado situation, which I learned on TV last night what that word is, where it's just some guy like Roy Good, ROYGOOD, on this show, Godless, GODLESS. That would be like the Anthony T. Free 1975 version. Just shows up and moves in, and then like everything just seems to get worse because he brings with him all of this other lifestyle I never wanted to be introduced to, and I don't know how to get him out. But yet I belong to some brotherhood that's scarred me up. I'm a little confused. I don't remember putting in a membership. Um, and I don't know how they protect me when everything that's happened has gotten worse. Um, so worse that now I'm in my own parents' house. I don't even have money for clothing. I'm wearing black on black on black because it's all that fits, because I've put on so much weight in trying to stay healthy, which is even more ridiculous, but I'm just surviving at this point, but I don't know why. It's Earth, solar system, Milky Way, universe, galaxy is broken. It's star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cattaruzza.